Beauty and lack. I'm not sure if this will be able to contribute to the metaphysics of lacks or glimpses that me, Daniel, Jock, and so many others have been attempting to work on. The subject of beauty is interesting. And I want to make two distinctions. One is object of desire. And then beauty that is beauty that can't be possessed. I feel like this is going to be very hard to express, even intellectually, and I'm going to make mistakes here, so bear with me. Okay. There's a couple examples that I want to try to get at. And there's a theory concerning lacks and beauty. One example that I think of, it's a very common phrase. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, let's expand this a little bit more. What do we mean by that? Well, typically when someone says that, they're saying that beauty has some relativity. It's relative to the person perceiving the object, whether it be a person, piece of art, and so on. Okay. But when we say someone is beautiful, does the object possess the beauty itself, or is beauty in this case unpossessed? I've been thinking about this, perhaps not in depth enough. We will see. We will see. I have the feeling that it will still be superficial at best, but let's try to go deep into this if we can. Okay. If someone calls me beautiful, okay, I want to say most people don't get the feeling that they actually are beautiful. I want to say that. And I want to say it even feels almost like an awkward compliment because you don't even know how to respond to that. Right? Someone says, "You're beautiful." You say, "Oh, well, thank you." Right? Most individuals, I want to say, don't see how the other person sees them as beautiful. Okay? So this is where I'm saying that beauty doesn't seem like it's possessible. It doesn't, that the object is just the receptacle for beauty to unveil itself. But I hear another argument of contention, right? Especially concerning technology. We can now modify our bodies, our, any body part to be more beautiful. But see, I already have a problem with the idea of more beautiful. Because when I say something is beautiful, is there really anything more to add to that statement? To add to those conditions? It seems to me when we say something is beautiful, it is already maximized to be at its best qualities. Beautiful. There's nothing more to be wanted. It's full. At least this is the impression I get when someone says, wow, this is beautiful. What more could you add to that kind of compliment? So when society and people try to achieve more beauty, they're still not beautiful. And to me, this is what I would call a superficial beauty, because it's never enough. There's always something that they feel they could augment, add to make it more beautiful, right? It hasn't reached its fullness. But you see the problem here when I say that when we say something is beautiful, I get the idea that it's already maximized, that it is full in itself. But it seems like when we try to possess beauty, we always feel that we want to add more. And that's why I said it. That's why I made that distinguishment about object of desire. And I've been reading some Lacan very briefly today, very briefly, on anxiety. But it does cause anxiety. The people trying to reach beauty, it does cause anxiety, because for them, they're trying to fill a hole that will never get filled. Because in their mind, there's always something that could be more beautiful and something to augment. Now, can someone argue that there are people that are completely full of themselves and believe themselves to be beautiful and that they are complete? Sure. I think that has merit to some degree. But I would still counter with the only reason why they get the sense that they are beautiful is because they had some reinforcement via social structures and propaganda that confirmed the standard of beauty. But even then, even if they do find themselves to be beautiful, the problem with that is that they're still trying to maintain their beauty. And that in itself becomes an object of desire and riddled with anxiety. This maintaining of beauty so they don't depreciate in age. So this is why I make that distinguishment, because I feel like that's not true beauty then. It's not maximization already. In fact, it's something that will never be maximized. So it becomes this A is A versus A is B battle, I want to say, where in the realization that beauty itself cannot be possessed becomes fulfilling. I'm going to say that again. In the face of beauty not being possessed becomes fulfilling. When I look at a sunset and I say that it's beautiful, or I find that it's beautiful, do I possess the sunset? No. But it is fulfilling to my senses, to my soul. I've discussed with OG Rose before about beauty and how Daniel has made this wonderful conclusion that beauty itself demands conditions of us. And he makes a good case for this. He uses literature, for example, beautiful poetic pieces, right? Conditions that you would have to meet, like being able to be literate, being able to understand and comprehend at a specific level, to be able to appreciate, let's say, Beethoven or Dostoevsky and so on. There's conditions that certain beautiful pieces of literature require of us that isn't quite openly available to everybody. You could say a sunset has limited conditions, very few conditions that it demands. It at least demands you to walk and to be able to see. Granted, most people have that conditions met. So it requires very few conditions to see beauty. Now, I guess the main point of my talk and previous talks that I've done here on this channel is this ridding of possession. It's very important to rid this idea of possession on a psychoanalytic framework. It's definitely a cause for neurosis, does cause neurosis, can cause neurosis. I'm not a professional on that subject, so I will keep myself limited on what I'm saying about that subject. But just relating to our day-to-day experiences, trying to achieve or objectifying beauty in a way that it is possessible does cause anxiety, even for the artist who wants to make a beautiful piece of work. I would say artists know very well that they don't possess beauty, that it's beauty that demands the conditions to be met. And even then, it's not guaranteed that beauty will come and greet them. That's the interesting part. But when it does, there is something humbling about that experience. I would say most artists, most humble artists, acknowledge that they are a witness to their products of creation, and that they are not really the makers, but a witness to their own creations. Many poets have said this as well. This is a kind of experience that is fulfilling, can be fulfilling. It's when you realize that you don't possess it, that you're in the palm of its demands. Yet, again, it's this A as B. It's fulfilling, though. It is fulfilling. And empty because you don't possess it. So empty. My hands are empty, yet I feel so full. So honored to even be a witness to the products, to the creations one has made as an artist. I think beauty as a lack in a more positive way definitely sounds compelling, where objects of desire are more negative, and in the affect of anxiety and neurosis are more unhealthy. And this is, again, the ironic and paradoxical A is B. The lack of beauty, the lack of having beauty is fulfilling when beauty itself demands you to meet its conditions. And sometimes it's a simple condition. Just be a witness to it. Sunsets, again, are a great example to this. Just be a witness to it, and it is the most fulfilling experience. Just to be a witness to it. I don't own it. It's not mine. Neither of us can own it or possess it. But anyways, I hope I have made somewhat of a case. I don't think I've gone as deep as I could, but right now I can't think of a deeper way. So I will leave that as it stands. But I think still, despite that, it is definitely something worth contemplating about. And again, I always go back to the idea of possession because it is really dear to my thinking about how we should refrain from and work away from possession. Anyways, take care. If you guys have any comments and critiques, all is welcomed. No worries. All right, take care.